Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Daniel here, and what we're going to do today is we are going to learn how to multiply fractions using a method called cross-simplifying or cross-canceling, okay? What I'm going to do first is I'm going to work the pink problem, okay? Notice the pink and the blue are the same, but I'm going to work the pink problem, probably like most students would do, just because they find it easier in the beginning. And then what I'm going to do is really try to convince you that the blue method might be easier. Okay, so looking at the pink problem, all we're going to do is we're going to multiply these fractions. And the rule for multiplying fractions is a simple rule. You take numerator times numerator and denominator times denominator. Okay, so my answer is going to be 4 times 9, which is 36 in my numerator, and then I'm going to find the product of my denominators, and that's going to be 18 times 10, or 180. So awesome. I got my answer, 36 over 180. But I'm hoping some of you are stopping and thinking, is that really the best answer? And you know, as mathematicians, we're going to look at you and say, no way. That answer is not in simplified form. Now, Mrs. Daniel knows that it's not in simplified form because I have practiced fractions for a long time. One way that I can try to help you learn to do it is for you to recognize that 36 and 180 are both what we call even numbers. And all even numbers are going to be divisible by 2. So what you would have to do is you would have to start reducing these numbers or simplifying them by finding a common factor. Now, even faster than recognizing they're both divisible by 2, because that's just a common factor, is like I could find the greatest common factor like we did in our last class. And I'm not going to lie, I cheated. I already have it prepared on a paper, and I know that the common factor between 36 and 180 actually is 36. So I know that what I'm going to do is divide out a 1 in the form of 36 divided by 36 so that this fraction becomes 1/5. So the answer that we're really looking for, I'm going to put a heart around it, is a 1/5. That is the simplified form. Okay, so that is one very acceptable way to solve the problem. My issue is it can be difficult to find this greatest common factor when the numbers start to get bigger. So I'm going to try to convince you to use this method called cross-simplifying, and I'm going to work that now in the blue problem. Now, if I do this correct, I should get the same answer, okay? So I'm going to start with the 4/18 and the 9/10, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to think about being at the beach, right? We were just in that huge snowstorm, so I don't want to be in the snowstorm anymore. I want to go to the beach, and when I go to the beach, I'm going to put on my bathing suit, and my bathing suit is going to be this bikini. Now, it is okay to laugh because Miss Daniel would never even think about wearing a bikini. But for this problem, going to the beach and thinking about a bikini helps me understand what I'm doing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to think about having a top and a bottom, okay, to my bathing suit. Top and a bottom. So let me give myself a head here, and I'll put my strap around here, and I've got my stick figure body, and I've got my legs right here, and man, am I ready to go swimming. Okay, now I need you to think of your numbers, your fractions, as tops and bottoms, okay? And I need you to find a top number that has a common factor with a bottom number so that you would create a bikini. So for example, I have to have a top, okay? Well, I'm going to start with the top of 9. Why not? You can start with either top number. It's your choice. And then what I have to do is I have to go get myself a matching bikini bottom. Okay, so I've got to get a bottom that basically matches up with my top. So what bottom the 18 or the 9 would have a common factor with the 9. And I happen to know my 9s. I'm a really good skip counter, and I know that I can count 9, 18, 27, 36, and so forth. So this 9 on top and this 18 on bottom are going to make what I call that bikini pair. And really what it is it's a cross-simplify pair. And so I can take this 9 and this 18, and I can simplify them by dividing out the greatest common factor between 9 and 18. And that, friends, is 9. Okay? Now, if some of you are going, how did she know that we were going to divide that 9 and that 18 by 9? That's what takes practice. That's where your brain has to kick in and start processing and saying, wow, what numbers are 9 and 18 both divisible by? And they are divisible by 3. They, meaning both of those numbers, 9 and 18, they are divisible, let's see, just 3, and actually just 3 and 9. So we're going to take the biggest one, which is that 9, okay? And when I do this problem, my new bikini top or my new numerator is going to become a 1. And my new bottom or my new denominator is going to become a 2. Okay? Awesome. Now, I wish I could say, guys, we're done, but I can't because, when I go to the beach, I might stay for a week. So I might need another bathing suit. So I'm going to go into this problem and I'm going to start with another top, okay? And I'm going to see if there happens to be a bottom. So going back to the top, okay, get another bikini top. And I already did this one and I'm down to 1. So I'm going to start over here with this 4. And so really, I get to choose my bottom, and today I'm going to choose to analyze it with the 10. Do 4 and 10 have a common factor? And the answer, again, is yes. Mrs. Daniel, how did you know that? Guys, we have to know that all of our even numbers, 4 and 10 are even numbers, are divisible by 2. That's your job as the student to know that even numbers are divisible by 2. So I'm going to divide this one by 2, and I'm really going to hope that it's the greatest common factor, okay? If it's not the greatest common factor, okay, well, I can keep dividing until I find it. So let's see what happens here. 4 divided by 2 is going to be 2. And then 10 divided by 2 is going to be 5. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about this, all right? Now, I'm tempted to go ahead and solve this problem, okay? So I'm going to look at it, and it's kind of messy. So as a teacher, I really appreciate it when you take the time to rewrite the problem. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2 divided by 2, which is what I have over here, and I'm going to multiply it by 1 over 5, which is what I have on the other side of the multiplication problem. Now, before I go to multiply it, I am going to stop and I'm just going to check and see if there's another bikini. Remember, I'm staying at the beach for a week, so I'm going to come over here, and this time I'm going to wear my red swimsuit, okay? I have all these awesome bikinis. So I'm going to go to a top. Well, guys, if you have a top of 1, you do not have to worry about a 1. There is nothing that we could divide out of a 1 to get any other number except for 1. So I'm not going to look at him. I'm only going to look and see if there's another number, and it happens to be this 2. And I'm going to ask myself, is there a matching bottom out there? Is there a number that has a common factor? Well, here's the cool thing. If they're the same number, bingo, then yes, they have a common factor, and the common factor is that number. So I am going to cross cancel these by dividing them both by 2. Well, a number divided by itself is going to become 1. So this problem becomes 1 over 1 times 1/5. So I am going to do this. I'm going to multiply it out, and the product is 1 times 1 is 1, right? Numerators, denominators. It's 1/5. Wait a minute. Is that the same 1/5 that we got at the top? You betcha. It is. And guys, the biggest number I used was a 18 in the beginning. Okay? And all the numbers were easier and they were smaller. I never had to get up to 180. I never had to get to 36. I just used numbers like 2 and 5. And I got the same answer as 1/5. So let's practice. Let's dive in and let's do some cross-canceling, some cross-simplifying.